Today, Francisco Alvarez with a monster walk-off home run. We talk about what that means for the team when it comes to morale in this final stretch of the season. And also, we have ourselves a bit of an injury update for Brandon Nimmo. You know that guy, Nims number 9. So glad that we have some news to share about that. But in the meantime, my name is Flobo Boyce, and thank you for tuning into Mets Digest, your number one stop shop for orange and blue content. I'm a Metropolitan, so are you, and together we're amazing. I gotta tell you though, there's so many different places on this planet where you can find Mets news and rumors, but the fact you're rocking with me means the world. Do us a favor, don't be part of those crews who doesn't have that subscribe button activated. If you're watching this, if you're watching the channel, you like seeing my face, you can tolerate my face, you can even turn off my face. But what you don't want to do is not subscribe. Hit the subscribe button to make sure you're in the know when it comes to anything NY. What is going on, everybody? I'm doing pretty good myself after a frustrating series against the Marlins over the weekend where we won the series, but Sunday was a very winnable game that got away from us. The Baltimore Orioles were coming into town, a team with their own playoff aspirations, and it really was a gut check time for us because not only that, we have the series this weekend in San Diego, followed by another series in Arizona. You know, the Padres and the Diamondbacks are in the playoff hunt as it is. But as I record this, the Mets are 1.5 game outside of the wild card standings, free for all. I don't know what you call it. It's like a feeding frenzy of teams that are just trying to get in there. The Braves currently occupy the 3rd spot. And for a long time today, it looked like it was going to be one of those frustrating drop games where we opened the scoring behind David Peterson in this case, and we let that lead evaporate. And that lead did evaporate, but shout out to Jose Buto, shout out to Edwin Diaz for making sure that the Orioles only scored 3. But the way the game ended was super important. Francisco Alvarez, number 4, El Troll, hits off his first ever walk-off home run. And this is great for a bunch of reasons. One, it's the dub. We all know the stretch that we have is one of the hardest ones in the majors, in the National League, and it matters for us to make sure we show all stakeholders and front office and fans that we are here to stay, even though it's a rebuilding year, and our destiny really is in our hands. But also with Alvarez himself, first home run in total in over 3 weeks in his first ever walk-off homer, something that he needed. It was a 3-0 count. Got the green light from Carlos Mendoza. In fact, I thought it was kind of like ignoring the red light, but no, got the green light from Carlos Mendoza and pays his manager, the rookie manager, in kind with a 421-foot blast. A lot of takeaways here. One, Carlos Mendoza, as being a rookie manager, being able to give Francisco Alvarez, someone who has been struggling behind the plate, that kind of leeway means a lot. And now, obviously, got the chance to pay it back in kind. But at the same time, you have someone who is still young. He's only 22 years old. In fact, let me show it to you. 22 years old, but this obviously was not the offensive output that Alvarez was expecting going into this year. Yes, we know he's not the main offensive option. That's still Lindor. That's still Pete Alonso. I mean, even JD Martinez I would put above the order if you think about who's actually producing things. In fact, JD hit a home run tonight, but we always wanted that little bit of oomph from our catcher position. We're talking about we haven't really had a giant hitting catcher since the days of Piazza, and there was a lot of expectations on Alvarez, but really wasn't coming in with the offensive production. But being able to get that little bit of oomph from the manager means a lot to them, and also shows that the whole trust in the team is what really helps you win games down the line. I don't know about you, but at the end of the season, win, lose, or draw, there's going to be a big conversation about the importance of Carlos Mendoza's contribution to the team. Again, a lot of us didn't know who he was. I did the who emoji, but being able to get Francisco Alvarez, who really wasn't himself offensively since coming back from that UCL injury in his thumb a couple months back, to really be the hero today is amazing. El Tro could be back, and you can watch that walk-off home run. He knew it as soon as that left the bat. And I say this, if this is a start of a run for Alvarez, they even lessen even more of the burden of people who are struggling behind the plate. I'm looking at you, Pete Alonso. This is how teams pick each other up. And when a team can do that, it's dangerous. Look about the playoff situation last year and the year before. It's teams that really are scrappy. We're talking about the 2022 Phillies, the 2023 Diamondbacks. Will the 2024 Mets do it? Well, they need their catcher. And even though the pitchers on the staff love Alvy too, having that offensive output is fantastic. Watch a home run. It really made my day, made my night, puts me in a different mood to watch this Orioles series make or break before the real make or break this weekend. But that is not the only other situation, the only other news this weekend. We actually have some update when it comes to number 9, left fielder Brandon Nimmo. You know, Nims, it was Players Weekend on the Sunday game after making a fantastic diving catch to temporarily keep us in the game. Landed pretty hard, felt pretty good, and his next at bat felt a little bit of discomfort and was instantly and promptly removed from the game. And something you don't want to see that, you don't see that at all. But with some MRIs and with some imaging today, the test came back clean. And after the game today, there really was some talk about what exactly of the extent of the injury. It looked like Brandon felt no pain in his shoulder, which was really what was the part of the body that was impacted the most, and was taken out today as a precaution. So you think about, we're talking about the outfield, you have Starling Marte coming back and the mix that Mendoza has at the ready. That says a lot about the options as well. Day-to-day is the official listing for Brandon Nimmo. When we talk about offensive production, this break may actually do him some good. Because even though the numbers have been respectable ever since the All-Star break, Brandon Nimmo's been going through it. There was, before the All-Star break, first there was the fainting spell, and after he had the stomach bug, and the offense didn't really work. In fact, there was a time in the summer with the 1-2 punts of Lindor, and Nimmo seemed to be almost impenetrable, but that was faltering quite a bit. Having that injury, or that potential injury this past weekend, would have been devastating to take Nimmo off the board, but being day-to-day, not swinging a bat, taking time to reset. I wonder how he can contribute on his return, but he's not going to be out for any long period of time, and that is definitely good news as Mendoza has more options, especially in that outfield. Starling Marte has been okay, but he does have those ground double play issues. You have characters like Harrison Bader, who has elite defense, but he's still on his 1-year contract. Nimmo is a franchise player. I mean, I think he has about 6.5 years on his contract still. You want him there as long as you can, but healthy Nimmo really lifts the spirits of the team wholesale. So good things to hear about that as well. Fantastic win. The New York Metropolitans. Francisco Alvarez can be starting something with the offensive output, trusting his manager. The manager trusts him back. The pitching staff already likes Alvy. Nimmo, it may be how day-to-day as it is right now, but nothing totally serious with that shoulder injury. And if the wins start stacking up, I mean, it is a landmine between the Orioles, San Diego, and Arizona. The season can be settled in these 3 series. I feel good. I feel great. I feel so confident that our boys can navigate it. The ship through the rocky waters, or whatever imagery you want to use, I think is all good news coming out of today. Hey, you've reached the end of the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Hey, Nimmo can produce, but he can do a lot more. What do you feel about Nimmo this season? And can he really go back to his pre-All-Star break form? And Francisco Alvarez, El Throw, 22 years old, 421 feet. He was a power hitter candidate. We hadn't seen it before this season. We haven't seen it as much, but he had a bomb that really lifted the morale. Had Monday night feeling like a Friday night. What do you think about Alvy? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. This right here is Mets Digest. My name is Flobo Boyce, and I'll see you next time. But of course, as always, LGM to the bitter end.